So let's talk about the platforms that enable marketers to use cold email. Now, there's two different kinds. I think, Michael, two different kinds of platforms here.
Yeah.
You've got one that I would call the one-to-many platform. So that would be your Constant Contacts, your MailChimps, your help me out here. What's it? Those are kind of the big ones.
HubSpot. Yeah.
Klaviyo is a big
Yeah.
one in the e-commerce world. So one to many. And that's kind of, people get signed up and you send maybe the same email to a lot of different people and you do it all at once.
And maybe it's personalized.
Maybe it's personalized.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
is
you've
good,
got
yeah.
platforms. I know the one you like is HubSpot. There's other ones called 100.io, Woodpecker, SmartReach. There's dozens of these platforms out there. And those are more geared toward this more cold personalized email approach, right? So that's kind of the platforms you want to be on. What you don't want to do when you engage in personal email or cold email, is to go out and buy a list of 5,000 people and load them all up into your Constant Contact and blast them out with a message. What's going to happen there?
I would call that spam.
That's for sure spam.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen? You're going to get in a rough situation because all of the email providers and Constant Contact and the end providers like Gmail and Outlook, they look at what sending domains are getting flagged as spam and getting unsubscribed. Like your email provider will note how many people are unsubscribed. And
Right.
And what could happen is if you do that is your sending domain, the domain of your website, could get flagged by email service providers. And then future emails that you send, no matter what platform you use, might get thrown in the spam folder. So it's really, really important that you use a platform that's geared towards cold email, the ones we've listed here.
Yeah. That's a huge difference. The throttling is a different technology that's used, and the way you're selecting what domain you're going to be sending from is a huge commitment. You can kind of poison a domain.
It's a lot of times
careful.
it's a good idea if you're going to do a lot of cold emailing is actually spin off a different domain. Go get a different domain as a sending domain.
Yep.
That way, if for some reason it gets flagged with spam by too many people, you don't pollute. Because what you don't want is your main website domain to get flagged for spam, because then you're going to be kind of in a pickle.
Yeah. So what platform you use is pretty important. And we talked about this in kind of our show prep. There are so many of this is kind of an area that I think is really exploding in popularity right now in the B2B space. I don't know so much about B2C, but I know that in B2B, personal cold emails, highly personalized, thoughtful, well-crafted.
I get 10 or 12 of them a week.
It's exploding. And so there are a lot of platforms. So I think there's going to be a lot of consolidation in that space. So we gave a few names here, but there are actually tons of other ones. And there are ones that we were talking about a year ago that are not even out there anymore.
Sure.
And so, there's going to be a lot of consolidation in this space. HubSpot, of course, is, a bigger kind of animal.
They're
they'll be around for a while, but, and 100.io you mentioned, SmartReach, Woodpecker, those are some that are maybe a little more staying power. But I would say, be careful, look, if you get into one of these platforms, do a lot of setup. Don't be surprised if they go away in 6 months or a year.
Right.
Not those that I mentioned, but a lot of the other ones.